Hello students, you are going to get a board that has been scored. That means that I have used a ruler and a blade and just done a light cut. Not a cut all the way through, but just a light cut on that board. It's to make it easier to fold, and that means that you fold away from the score. If you try to fold toward the score, you'll find that it's difficult. One awesome way to fold on a score is to line up the ruler with the fold and press it down so that your fold is super nice and clean. So here I am lining up the ruler with the score, and then I press it down with my fingers while I pull up with both thumbs. That's one good way to do it. Again, if you try and fold towards the score, then it will be a struggle and it won't look crisp and clean. So you'll know if you're doing it right or not. Kind of like you've made a little elbow. Next thing we want to do with our cardboard is be able to fold it up into walls. And to do that, you'll need to make one cut with scissors next to each corner. So a total of 4 cuts. Look how I'm cutting and stopping at the next fold. This will make nice little square tabs that we can use to fold our board up into a little shadow box. So this diagram shows those 4 cuts you make just stopping at the fold line. And once that's finished, you can really begin to form it into the shadow box. Make sure that it will fold into place and practice holding those tabs in a very square position so that it makes a nice tight little box. You can practice holding them for when you're about to glue them closed. Something else you can do while your box is still flat is write your name on the back. That's the side with the scores. The bottom or the back is the side with the scores, and your plain side is going to be the side that holds all of your interesting little objects for your sculpture. Something else you can do while it's flat is kind of plan where your focal point might be. Using the rule of thirds, you can draw a little tic-tac-toe. I measured that the long side of my surface is going to be about 21 centimeters, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. So if I make a little tick mark right at 7 and then 14, then I will have split my horizontal into 3 equal parts. So here I am kind of estimating about 21 across, and I'm going to make little tick marks down at the 7 and the 14, both at the top and the bottom of the long side. And of course, I'm just counting the inner rectangle here. That's going to be the size of my overall composition. I'm going to do that at the top and the bottom. You can also do this after your box is folded into place, but with it flat, I was able to use the ruler to draw those 2 separating lines that show me 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. And then the short side of the rectangle is about 13 or so. So I'm going to make a mark a little bit over 4 centimeters and then about 9 centimeters to show 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3, both at the top and the bottom of the short side. And then you'll see how I finish my tic-tac-toe and give it a look. I can always erase my lines, but I want it to look like a tic-tac-toe where it's evenly split into thirds both ways. And that'll help me pinpoint where a really good place for a focal point is. The focal point of your art is a place that your eye goes to first. It's maybe your more interesting spot in the whole case, or it's where you want people to start looking first. So there I am circling 4 potential areas for a focal spot. I can put a really detailed or attention-grabbing object in those places. So this is a glue gun. A glue gun has a temperature control, it has a trigger, and it has a nozzle. And the nozzle is a place where you do not want to touch. It's the hottest part. You see in the back too, there's a place to insert new glue sticks when ready. In order for a glue gun to function, it does need to be filled with a glue stick. So if there's not a glue stick kind of poking out of the back, it won't work. So now this one is loaded. The trigger pull will cause the glue stick to push through. And the only place you need to glue to construct your box is right on that square tab. With hot glue, you need to never touch the glue. You need to be wary of where you set the gun down, and then you need to work quickly. So I went ahead and made sure the cardboard began to connect exactly where I wanted it, because you can't fix it, before the glue cools down. If the glue cools down at all, then it will not perform its job of adhering. It'll turn back into like a hard, cool plastic. So there, I finished one side, and I'm gonna do that on 3 more squares, a little X tab. There, it was nice and out of shot, but making sure it's very squared up, pulled completely closed against the square tab. I'm gonna hold it for a while until the glue cools down and performs its job of functioning. So yes, hot glue guns are messy, they're sticky. We wanna make sure it doesn't get on any surfaces. That's why I'll always put out paper or cardboard or a mat. Work on the mat. Don't let the strings get on you. And if it gets on your hand, quickly wipe it off on the paper.